Stop, think. Right now, if you died, what would change? Nothing. The world wouldn't stop. People would post a few fake rips, maybe shed a tear or two, and then move the fuck on. In a week, a month, you're forgotten. Your dreams, wasted. Your potential, buried. And the worst part, you'll know in those last moments that it was all your fucking fault. Look around. The world is filled with men hungrier than you, stronger than you, more disciplined than you. While you hesitate, they move. While you waste time, they take everything that should have been yours. The money, the power, the respect, the legacy. And you sit there making excuses, convincing yourself that you'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow never fucking comes, and I know that burns. I know that cuts deep because it's the truth. And the truth doesn't give a damn about your feelings. You can either face it and change or keep running like the coward you've always been. Most of you are soft, weak. You've been conditioned to tolerate mediocrity, to settle, to accept failure. You wake up, look in the mirror, and lie to yourself. Tell yourself you're trying your best. That life is unfair. That it's not your fault. That you'll start grinding tomorrow. But guess what? Tomorrow is a lie. It never fucking comes. Every single day, you betray yourself. You know exactly what you need to do, but you don't fucking do it. You let that weak voice in your head run your life. You let yourself be ruled by comfort, by laziness, by fear. And then you have the audacity to wonder why your life is a mess. Here's the brutal truth. If your life is pathetic, it's because of you. Not your boss, not your parents, not the government. You are your own worst enemy. You sabotage yourself every single day, and you don't even realize it. Look at your life. Look at the last 5 years. Are you richer? Stronger? More disciplined? Or are you in the exact same fucking place, telling the same sad story, making the same excuses, repeating the same failures? If you are, congratulations. You're losing the game. And if you don't wake the hell up, you're going to keep losing. Every successful man, every warrior, every champion knows this. Your mind is your greatest weapon. But most of you have turned it into your biggest weakness. Your mind should be your ally, your shield, your sword. But instead, you've let it become your prison. Every time you say, I'm too tired. Every time you choose Netflix over work. Every time you scroll through your phone like a fucking zombie instead of building your empire. You prove that you are weak. And weak men, they don't win. They don't get rich. They don't get respect. They don't attract beautiful women. Weak men are disposable. Weak men get forgotten. Think about this. If I put a button in front of 99% of the world and told them that pressing it would make you drop dead, but they'd get $100 million in return, guess what? They'd press it. No hesitation. No second thoughts. They wouldn't give a fuck about your dreams, your struggles, your family. They'd take the money, buy a Lamborghini, and move the fuck on. And yet here you are, worrying about what people think, afraid of judgment, living like you owe anyone an explanation for your failures. You don't owe the world shit. You owe yourself the truth. And the truth. You've been playing life on easy mode. That's why you're losing. You think success is about luck, about talent. It's not. It's about relentless fucking action. It's about deciding that no matter how tired, how broken, how discouraged you feel, you move forward. You train when you don't feel like training. You work when you don't feel like working. You grind when everyone else is asleep. Because if you don't, someone else will. And that's why they have the cars, the money, the respect. While you sit there making excuses, your problem isn't the world. Your problem is you. Every time you procrastinate, every time you hesitate, every time you let fear control you, you are losing. And there's no one else to blame. It's your fault. If you're fat, you chose to be fat. If you're broke, you chose to be broke. If you're weak, you chose to be weak. And the second you stop lying to yourself is the second you can start fucking winning. Reality is brutal, but it's simple. You're either a man or you're not. And if you're not, the world will chew you up, spit you out, and forget your name. You want to be a real man? Then understand this. Life is war. A war that never fucking ends. And the battlefield? It's in your head. Most of you don't even realize you're fighting. You wake up, go to work, come home, stare at screens for hours like a zombie, then complain that you're not where you want to be. You are being attacked every single day, and you don't even see it. The enemy? It's not just the world, the distractions, the competition. The real enemy is inside you. It's that weak part of you that craves comfort over discipline, pleasure over purpose, ease over effort. It's the part of you that whispers, just take it easy, when you know damn well you should be working harder. And if you don't wake the fuck up and go to war with that part of yourself, you will lose. Every day, over and over. Until one day you look back and realize you wasted your entire fucking life. There are two versions of you, two warriors. One is strong, disciplined, relentless. He wakes up early, sharpens his body, strengthens his mind, builds his empire. He doesn't make excuses. He doesn't back down. He knows pain is temporary, but greatness is forever. He fights every single fucking day. But then there's the other version, the coward, the weakling, the one that whispers 5 more minutes in bed, the one that grabs junk food instead of fueling like a warrior, the one that scrolls social media, numbing his brain instead of learning, building, dominating, the one that finds excuses instead of taking action. And here's the truth. You decide which one wins. Every single morning when you open your eyes, you choose which warrior you feed. Every time you take the easy route, you strengthen the weak, pathetic version of yourself. Every time you push through, even when you don't feel like it, you choke the coward inside you and feed the beast that was meant to take over. I see it every day. Men walking around like empty shells, shadows of who they could be. They know they were built for more, but they feel lost, stuck. And why? Because they've spent years losing the battle in their own minds, feeding the coward, letting weakness become a habit, choosing failure in the tiny moments that seem harmless but shape the entire fucking direction of their lives. You think skipping one workout doesn't matter? You think sleeping in just this once is fine? That ignoring your goals today won't change anything? You're fucking wrong. Every small decision is a vote for the man you become. You either win or you lose. There is no in between. And here's the harsh truth. No one is coming to save you. No one's dragging your ass out of bed. No one is forcing you to work. No one's handing you success. The world doesn't give a shit if you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed. The only person who can change your life is you. And if you don't wake the fuck up and take control, you will lose. You will be another forgotten nobody, buried in regret, knowing deep down that you could have been great, but you chose to be weak. So let me ask you, which version of you is going to win? What if this is it? What if you die tomorrow? What if the weak, ordinary, comfortable existence you've settled for is all you'll ever have? No wealth, no power, no legacy. Just another faceless nobody who walked the earth, wasted time, and disappeared. Does that not fucking terrify you? Because it should. The thought of dying average should haunt you. It should grip you by the throat and shake you the fuck awake. But most of you, you're too numb to even feel it. You drift through life like a zombie. Cheap dopamine hits, distractions, drowning your potential in bullshit. Lying to yourself, telling yourself you'll start next week. As if next week is even promised to you. Let me remind you, there are no second chances, no reset buttons, no redo. Every second that passes is gone forever, dragging you closer to your last breath. And when that moment comes, what will you have left? Regret. The kind of regret that eats you alive. The kind that keeps you up at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering where it all went wrong. Wondering why you wasted so much time. Why you didn't take the risks. Or why you let fear control you. And don't fucking fool yourself. Regret isn't some distant nightmare that creeps in when you're old and gray. It starts now. You feel it already. Every time you see another man living the life you wish you had. Every time you look in the mirror and know deep down you should be further ahead. Every time you watch someone else winning while you sit there stuck. It burns, doesn't it? That rage, that frustration, that sick feeling in your gut. Because you know the truth. He's not better than you. He's not smarter. He's not more talented. He just took action while you made excuses. He faced his fears while you ran from them. He embraced the suffering while you clung to comfort like a weak little boy. That's the only difference. And you fucking hate knowing it. You think fear is the enemy? No, fear is your ally. Fear is the fire that should fuel you. Fear of being weak. Fear of being overlooked. Fear of dying a nobody. Fear of wasting your fucking life. If that doesn't light a fire under your ass, nothing will. You should wake up every morning with urgency. A hunger so savage it makes the hair on your arm stand up. Because while you hesitate, another man is taking what should have been yours. While you sit there scrolling, playing games, watching mindless bullshit, another man is stacking cash, getting stronger, gaining respect. And then the moment comes. The opportunity you've been waiting for staring you in the face. But guess what? You're not ready. Because you wasted the last 5 years being lazy, being scared, being weak. That regret, that's going to hit you like a fucking freight train. You want dominance? Earn it? You want to be respected? Become a man who demands it? You want success? Then stop acting like the men who lose. Winners don't hesitate. Winners don't wait for permission. All winners take. They see what they want and they fucking take it. They bend life to their will instead of being bent by it. That's the difference between the strong and the weak, between the remembered and the forgotten. And if you're not ready to live with that intensity, if you're not ready to stare your fears in the face and rip success out of life with your bare hands, then you don't fucking deserve it. Simple. So the question is, will you let fear paralyze you or will you use it to fuel you? Because the clock is ticking and life doesn't wait for weak men to catch up. Do you understand what happens to weak men? Have you really thought about it? Because if you haven't, let me make it crystal fucking clear. Weak men get crushed. They are disposable, forgettable, irrelevant. No one respects them. No one fears them. Women don't want them. Other men don't acknowledge them. The system chews them up and spits them out, leaving them with a miserable life of servitude and regret. And the worst part, you did it to yourself. You chose weakness. You let it grow inside you like a disease. And now, instead of bending the world to your will, you are a slave to it. Every time you hit snooze on your alarm, you are making a choice. Every time you skip the gym, you are making a choice. Every time you let fear hold you back, you are making a choice. And those choices, they fucking add up. They define your destiny. Look at your life right now. If you're broke, if you're weak, if you feel lost, it's because of every little choice you made to avoid struggle, to escape pain, to take the easy road instead of the hard one. And now you want to complain. You want to cry about how unfair life is. Wake the fuck up. No one is coming to save you. No one gives a fuck about your excuses. So what the fuck are you going to do about it? You think the world is going to stop and hand you success just because you want it? You think life gives a fuck about your dreams, your feelings, your little hopes and wishes? No, the world keeps moving. And if you don't keep up, it will leave you behind. Fear should keep you awake at night. Not fear of failure. Fear of staying the fucking same. Fear of being a nobody. Fear of looking back at your life with nothing but regret. You need that fear. You need to let it burn inside you until it's unbearable. Until it forces you to fucking change. Because if you don't, you will live a life of quiet desperation. A life where you wake up every day, go to a job you hate, take orders from people you don't respect, go home to a life that feels empty, and then repeat it all over again. Is that what you want? To be a pawn? To be just another man who lived, died, and left no mark? Or do you want more? Because the men who dominate life don't wait. They don't hesitate. They don't flinch at discomfort. They fucking chase it. They seek it out because they know that pain is the price of greatness. The men who win in this world are the ones who take action even when they are afraid. They move forward even when it's painful. They build themselves into something so powerful that the world has no choice but to take notice. And that is exactly what you must do. You must become undeniable. But let's be real. Most of you won't. Most of you will read this, nod your head, feel a little surge of motivation, and then go right back to the same weak, pathetic habits that have kept you stuck. You'll let the moment pass. You'll allow weakness to win. And years from now, when you're still sitting in the same miserable place, watching another man live the life you wanted, you'll feel that crushing weight of regret pressing down on your fucking chest. And by then, it'll be too late. So let me ask you straight up. How much longer are you willing to tolerate being weak? How much longer are you going to live like this? How much more are you going to put up with before you fucking snap and take control? Because right now, whether you see it or not, you are at war. And wars don't wait for you to be ready. Wars don't give a fuck about your feelings. Life is moving forward with or without you. You are either crushing it or you are being crushed. There is no middle ground. There is no fucking pause button. Every day that passes, you are either sharpening your weapons, building your empire, forging yourself into an unbreakable force, or you are becoming weaker, softer, more irrelevant. Every moment you hesitate, another man is taking your fucking place. And let me tell you something you don't want to hear. Nobody respects weakness. They might pretend to. They might smile and nod when you complain about how hard life is, about how tired you are, about how unfair things have been for you. But deep down, they despise you for it. The world has no sympathy for the weak. Women don't want weak men. Other men don't follow weak men. The system preys on weak men. Weakness is a disease, and it kills you slowly, day by day, excuse by excuse, hesitation by hesitation, until there is nothing left. So tell me, are you going to let it consume you? Or are you going to kill it before it kills you? Look around. How many men do you see wasting away, broken by their own pathetic excuses? How many do you know who had potential but let it rot inside them because they were too fucking scared to fight for what they wanted? You think you're different. You think you're immune to that same pathetic fate. Wake the fuck up. You are running out of time. Right now, this very second, you are either getting stronger or getting weaker. You are either getting richer or getting poorer. You are either moving toward greatness or sinking deeper into mediocrity. And mediocrity, that's the slowest, most agonizing way to die. It strips you of your pride, your power, your essence as a man. It makes you invisible. Nobody remembers the average. Nobody respects the average. Nobody fears the average. And if no one fears you, if no one respects you, if no one sees you as a force to be reckoned with, you have already fucking lost. Look around. Men are being destroyed. Weak men are being discarded by society. The world has no use for them. The system wants you weak, dependent, and trolled. They want you fat, addicted, drowning in distractions. They want you scared because a scared man is a slave. A man who hesitates is a man who can be controlled. And you've been playing right into their hands. You've been feeding your own failure, numbing your ambition, trading your potential for comfort like a fucking fool. But here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to drag you out of bed, force you to train, hand you success, or build your empire. If you don't take control of your own destiny, someone else will. Another man will take what should have been yours. He will get the wealth, the power, the respect, the life. Because while you were doubting yourself, he was moving. While you were making excuses, he was building. While you were scrolling like a fucking loser, he was stacking money. And the most brutal part, he won't even know you exist. You will be nothing to him. Just another faceless nobody who failed to show up. And when that moment comes, when you see another man living your dream life, standing in the place that should have been yours with the money, the power, the discipline, the legacy that you were too weak to fight for, that regret will eat you alive. It will be unbearable because you will know deep down that you had the chance. You had the time. You had the choice. And you threw it the fuck away. So tell me, are you going to keep losing? Or are you going to wake the fuck up, fight back, and take what is yours? But let me be clear. There is no going back. Once you make the decision to rise, to fight, to fucking dominate, you can never return to the old version of yourself. That weak, pathetic man dies here. He is buried in the graveyard of failures with all the other weak men who let life crush them. You have wasted enough fucking time. You have lied to yourself long enough. You have let fear, laziness, and comfort poison you for long enough. And now it fucking ends. Right now, in this moment, you make a choice. Do you take control or do you stay a fucking slave? And don't pretend this doesn't apply to you. It does. It applies to every man who has ever looked in the mirror and felt disgusted. It applies to every man who knows deep down that he is not living up to his full potential. It applies to you. Because if you were already at the top, already winning at the highest level, already dominating life, you wouldn't be here right now listening to this. So I'll ask you again, what the fuck are you going to do? Close this and forget everything. Go back to your comfortable, pathetic routine, pretending you didn't just hear the truth? Or are you going to rise the fuck up and take what's yours? Are you going to stop being afraid? Stop being lazy? Stop being weak. Because no one is stopping you but you. No one is holding you back but you. No one is choosing failure for you. You are choosing it for yourself. And you can fucking choose differently. So decide right here, right now. Are you going to stay the same or are you going to become the man you were fucking meant to be?